As I record this, the Trump Stormy Daniels weaponized misdemeanor jury is still deliberating. And I'm still keeping the faith, man. I still cannot possibly imagine how any reasonable, fair-minded person could deliver anything other than a not guilty verdict. But obviously, I mean, the longer it goes, it's looking like a hung jury is probably the best that we're going to see. But regardless of what happens here, the more you read, the more you see about Juan Mershon's decision-making in the case, it's almost impossible to imagine that this does not find its way to the Supreme Court. I mean, just the jury instructions alone were literally groundbreaking. In the 11th hour, after the defense delivered closings, the jury gets told they can consider 3 crimes that were not testified to in the trial, 3 crimes that the defendant did not get to defend himself against, 3 crimes that no one even knew was coming, right? And even more egregious than that, the jury does not even have to agree on which crime the violation is. Just pick from a list, like a Chinese menu, basically. It's freaking insane. It's never, ever, ever been done before in all of our history. And it always brings me back to the same thing. If Donald Trump is even remotely the threat that they tell you he is, why do they need to weaponize an 8-year-old misdemeanor and completely destroy the Fifth Amendment to do it?
Pretty outrageous.
A novel criminal charge and a novel approach to jury instruction. So, according to Judge Juan Mershon, the jury, they don't need to reach a unanimous decision on that phantom election allegation the prosecution was never even able to really describe. An unspecified federal election crime that was never charged or tried anywhere ever in America. Apparently, Judge Mershon believes he's above the law and was perfectly willing to trample on our Constitution at will. Now, we know from the 2020 Supreme Court ruling, Judge Mershon, you may want to pay close attention. Somebody will tell you about this show. It's called Ramos versus Louisiana. I'm sure you've heard of it. You're ignoring it, but you've heard of it. Let me quote it for you. There can be no question either that the Sixth Amendment's unanimity requirement applies to state and federal criminal trials equally. And the law doesn't stop there. Here is the U.S. Supreme Court ruling from Andres v. United States. It says, quote, unanimity in jury verdicts is required where the Sixth and Seventh Amendments apply. That would be our Constitution, Judge. In criminal cases, this requirement of unanimity extends to all issues, character or degree of the crime, guilt and punishment, which are left to the jury. Again, quote, in criminal cases, this requirement of unanimity extends to all issues. I'll repeat, all issues. There's no carve-out for Biden donating judges like Judge Mershon who hate Donald Trump. Here's another violation of Trump's civil liberties carried out by Judge Juan Mershon and the prosecution. According to Cornell law, well, the Sixth Amendment of our Constitution, it grants all Americans, quote, the right to know who your accusers are, the nature of the charges and evidence against you. So what is the election crime that Trump is being accused of, and who's making the allegation? The prosecution, they never answered these questions. And now the judge...
Well, I mean, this is how a thinking person views this case. And thankfully, if the polling is even halfway correct, the only people that don't actually see what's going on here are already completely Trump deranged. People like Robert De Niro. And we all know there's no saving the truly Trump deranged. I mean, all you really can do, the best we can do, quarantine them, try to keep them from polluting the gene pool the best we can, right? But there is no doubt that what this judge is doing is wrong. And anyone with 2 brain cells to rub together sees every single bit of it. But there are still stupid people in this country, and they have their own network.
As you've noted with respect to Judge Mershon, I mean, I am like now, I have like a man crush on him. Right. He is such a great judge that it's hard to see that the jurors wouldn't have the same impression. I mean, you just keep on thinking, if you looked in a dictionary for like judicial temperament, that's what you...
I'm pretty sure that when you're Andrew Weissman, that's not a man crush. That is an actual crush. I mean, when you have a man crush, you generally probably wouldn't want to bang it out, right? But just saying, nothing against this guy, I'm just saying. But this is what these people believe. They ignore facts, they ignore laws, they ignore the Constitution, they hate the Constitution. And instead of anything tangible, anything real, they just focus on the fact that they just love this guy. They love the judge because they think he's the one that is finally going to make one of their get Trump fantasies come true. And I hope that it doesn't, man. A not guilty verdict, I can't explain to you how happy I would be about that. Obviously, it'd be great to see justice work. It'd be fantastic to see Democrats fail. But if I'm being honest, more than anything, I just really, really, really want to see liberal brains completely explode. Yeah, that's just my take, man. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you haven't already, guys, be a part of our growth. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. I'll see you in the next one.